Good day students. Today we are going to start with a new unit of IT 402, that is unit number 3, that is Relational Database Management System or RDBMS. Till now in the previous videos we had covered unit number 4, Web Applications and Security, and we had covered from session number 1 to session number 6. For your coming semester exam, you will be having 1 or 2 sessions of Relational Database Management System also. So today we start with the first session of RDBMS or Relational Database Management System. Now what is the meaning of data? Data by itself on a raw form has got no meaning. For example, if I just tell you a name, for example Rahul or 20 or Dr. Joshi or a particular date, then by itself it does not have any meaning. But when we join together and we easily interpret this data and organize it in a proper way, then it starts making some sense to a person. For example, if I say Rahul, his date of birth is so and so and he is of so much age and this is his address. So that is a complete record or a complete information. So data, when it is organized in a proper manner, becomes information. Now for example, I'll give you examples of records of students or stock in a particular retail shop. That is how much of stock is available, what is the price, who is the manufacturer, what are the discounts available, etc. All this is information about the stock in a shop. Or in a hospital, patient's record, that is who is the patient's name, his admission date, his age, blood group, the doctor that he is consulting, the medicines that he is taken. All this is data, and when it is organized in a proper manner, it becomes the information about a patient. So this is what is called as data and information. Now, when this data or information is stored and organized in a proper manner, it is called a database. So, a database is an organized collection of information that can be easily accessed, managed and updated. The overall purpose of the database is to record and maintain information that is very relevant to the organization. For example, in a school, an organization like a school, you organize all the data of the students, the staff, etc. Then in an hospital, you organize the data of all the patients who are visiting the hospital. In a big shop or a retail shop like DMart or Big Bazaar, all the stock details are organized in a proper manner. So there is the database means organization of this data and information so that it can be accessed easily, it can be managed properly, and it also can be updated as per the need. So what is a database management system? A database management system is a software package which is a computer program that helps to control creation, maintenance and use of this database. So when a database is created, then there is a database management software which helps to maintain and organize and create this particular database. Now it also allows organizations to conveniently develop various applications based on the database. So a database is an integrated collection of data records, files and any other objects. A database management system allows different user applications to concurrently use and access the database. So when we start using a database management system, then there are multiple applications which can be used on which can access that same database, and different types of applications can be developed. We can have reports, we can have queries, etc. We'll come to the details of each of them as we go through the entire unit. So some of the well-known database applications are Oracle, IBM DB2, MS SQL servers, Microsoft Access, MySQL, Fox Pro, etc. These are all examples of database management system. The databases that we talked about, that is the collection or organized collection of information, is divided into two types. That is, there are two types of databases. One is called as a flat file database and another one is called as a relational database. Now in a flat file database, there is only one single table which contains all the data. Now it is very useful when the amount of data is less. For example, if you have got a database which contains only the name of your friends, his birth date, his address and his phone number, then all all your friends, maybe 10 or 12 friends of yours together, the information about your friends is a small little database which has got only one single table, and the amount of data that is captured in that table is very little. So this type of database, when there is only one single table and the amount of data is less, that is called as a flat file. Whereas in a relational file, data is stored in multiple tables and the tables are linked together using a common field. Now, relational database is very suitable for organizations which have got a large amount of data. Now, let me give you an example. For example, in a school, the amount of data that a school stores is vast. So, we can't club all the details of everything in one file. So, what do? We have got multiple tables. The first table, we have got all the information about the students. Another table, we may have all the information regarding the teachers and the staff. A third database, a table will be all the details about the fee that has been collected, the student's name, which class he is, and which bus stop, what is the fees that has been collected. All this together makes another table. And there are other tables also, like for example, we can have some activity table, we can have another table which contains all the marks of the students. So these are the data of the entire organization is divided into different in the same database but in different table forms, and each of these tables are related to one another with some common key. This is what is called as a relational file. So the two types of databases are flat file database and relational database. Now, what is the meaning of a database server? A database server is a dedicated computer which holds the actual database and runs only the DBMS software or the related software. So typically, when I have a database management system in my organization, I have got a database server which contains the actual data of the entire organization, and that is called as a server. Now, this server is called as referred to as a backend. And the people who are using the database for their different purposes, for example, teachers may use it, in a school example, the teachers may use it, the office staff will use it. So that is called as a front end. And some who is using that front end database system uses something through or accesses that database through a graphical user interface. So the interface is in a graphical user form and the database is at the back end. So there is something called as a front end, which the user uses, the person who is using the database, he will use, and the back end, which is the actual database which is kept on a database server. This particular way of accessing is referred to as the client server model. So this is what is a database server, the server which contains the actual data of the organization. Now in our case, let us go back to our school. You know that everybody in the computer lab, there is a small little room which has got a big, which you all are not allowed to access, that is our server room, which contains the entire all the servers which are storing all the data of our school in different tables. They are stored. So that is called as, and all the others, the office staff or anybody who is using it, they are using the front end. Whereas the back end is on the server, that is the actual database is on the server. Now, what is a relational database management system? A relational database is a database management which was based on a relational model and it was introduced by E.F. Codd. In a relational model of database, all the data is represented in the form of tuples or records which are grouped into some relation. So, the data among each other is, or the different tables are grouped with some sort of relation with each other. The purpose of a relational model is to provide a declarative method of specifying data and queries. Users directly state what information the database contains, what information they want to get from it, and the database management software takes care of describing that structure for storing the data and retrieval process for answering the queries. Now you will understand this much better when you start actually using a database management software, that when you put the database is managed in such a way that when any queries are put to the database, then automatically the RDBMS, that is the relational database management system, it will provide you with the answers to that particular query depending upon the description that you have given it. So you will learn and understand this much better as you start using the management system, the database management software. You will start understanding what exactly is a relational database management system. Now the concept of relational database management, as I already explained to you, but another example I can give you is that of a big company. It has, as I told you in the school example, we had got one table which contains the details of the students, one for the staff, one for the marks, one for the fees, etc. In the same way, let us take another example which is of a big company. Now here a large company can have multiple tables. So one table may be for the product that it is manufacturing, another one table for the suppliers, another one for all the customer details, another table which contains all the orders received, one table for all the staff details, one table for the salary details. Like this, one single database will be of the company will be divided into multiple tables, and these tables are related to each another. So this is another example of what is a relational database concept. Now data uniqueness is something which is very, very important in a database management. Now what happens? Uniqueness of data means that the uniqueness helps to avoid accidental duplication of data records caused by a user or a computer error. Now this can be achieved by using some number or value which uniquely identifies each record. So every record that is put into the database should have something which is unique to it, so that it helps to avoid duplication or multiplication of the same data. That is, duplicate errors can be avoided. Now for this purpose, what is to be done? There should be something unique in every record which helps to identify itself. Now for example, in our school example which I gave you, the school database, every student is given a unique number or a unique GR number which identifies that student. You all have your own unique GR number. It cannot coincide with any other student's number. So it is a unique number. So in a database table of the student details, what is the unique value? It is the GR number. Similarly, in the staff record, staff also, each staff has got their own staff number. So in the case of the factory, the large company example which I gave you, you have got unique number for the item number, for the product number, maybe the staff details, maybe or the salary. In the salary table, we may have the account details. An account number cannot be the same for two people. So this way, a unique record or a unique value is identified which is for a particular record. That is called as data uniqueness. If such a unique value does not exist in your field, then you have to create a special field. Suppose by any chance in your table there is no field which you can identify as a common field or a unique field, then you have to create another additional field and put a particular number or a value for that entry. So this way, for example, you can have a unique number just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So that a unique key or a unique field is always there in your table. Therefore, every table has a field which ensures that there is 100% unique values throughout the database. That is the most important thing. So every database table should have one or more fields designated as a key. You can assign any unique key to this particular key for differentiating the records. For example, there may be a particular table which has got only names and addresses. Okay, now if two people may have the same name, you can't put name as the field, or two people or one brother and sister are staying in the same address, that address also cannot be unique. So in such a case, we can put another unique field called ID number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is a unique key. This is basically what is the meaning of identifying something called as a unique key or a unique value to a particular record. Now continuing with what I already explained to you, now just have a look at this particular table, the first table. In that we have got three fields: name, standard and section. Under name, you will realize that there are names called Ram, Ravi and Sanjay. Now when you look at Ravi is in standard 10th and A division, and the second Ravi again is in standard 10th A division. So in this table, it becomes extremely difficult to differentiate between the two students who have got the similar name. So there are two Ravis in the same class. Now to different, and suppose by any chance you have got a surname, now you cannot say that I cannot have two people have the same name. I can have Ravi Patil 1 and Ravi Patil 2. So you cannot even do that way. So what can we do? To differentiate, you have to add another additional field called roll number, which will be unique. And in this case, you have got Ram at 19, Ravi as 21 and 20. So 20 and 21 are the two numbers. So both the Ravi Patils but will be having the same name, but they have the unique key field is the roll number, which is 20 for one Ravi Patil and 21 for the other Ravi Patil. So this is the example of how we can put a new field or a new key field to identify the records. Let us look at another example. This is a client table which contains the client IDs as 001, 002, 3, 4, etc. Now this is the unique key and it is called as a primary key. Now in this client table we have got client ID as the primary key, which is the unique key or the unique field, and along with that we have got other details like name, address, phone number, etc. This is the details of the client table. Now in the next table below, that is the sales table, we have got order ID as the primary key. So order ID becomes the primary key for this particular sales table. Along with that, we also have the client ID from the previous table. So order number, in this example, order number 790 and 792, both of them are by the client ID 0202, which is Vaibhav Mittal. So in this case, in these two examples, in these two tables, the primary key is for the client table is client ID and the primary key for order ID for the sales table is order ID. They are unique. Okay. So this, but the client ID is also there in the sales table, right? Now this is called as a foreign key. This client, this primary key can also be indexed in such a way that it becomes easier. So you can also sort this particular primary key so that it becomes easier for us to detect data from a particular table. So as we say, this unique key field is called as the primary key, and this particular primary key has got unique values which are identifying a row in the table. In our example, client ID is the primary key in the client table. Primary key is also indexed in the database, making it faster for the database to search records. So when a primary key constraint is applied on one or more columns, it is called as a composite primary key. Now in our example, the referred client ID which occurs in the sales table, you remember when we saw it that this particular client ID is referring to, is there in our sales table also. It is called as a foreign key. Hence the foreign key is a key identifies a column or a set of columns in one table that is referred to a column or set of columns in another table. So one side of a relation is always a parent and provides the primary key attribute to be copied. The many sides of a relation is always a child and into which the foreign key attributes are copied. So memorize it. There is one parent, that is the primary key, and they may have multiple, that particular parent key or primary key may be used in multiple different tables as a child, and it is called as the foreign key. So when a primary key is used in another table as another column, and that particular column is called as the foreign key. So I hope you have understood the concept of a primary key and a foreign key, and what is the meaning of a primary key and what is the need for a primary key in a database. So these concepts of database management system is very essential for us to understand the various other concepts which are going to follow in our next part of the chapter. So this is the introductory class of our relational database management system. We will be continuing with it in the next session. Thank you.